Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. I think we're there for all the random notifications coming through. Evening. Greetings, Andrew. How are you today? I'm not late. Fashionably on time. Oh dear. And Jeff, how you doing, friend? Hope all is well. Samuel, Mr. Yeller. Ooh. So yes, as people gradually come in, before I run through what's been going on this week around here, I think most of you probably already know. Tommy, how you doing, my friend? Yes, Father's Day, exactly. I got a card. Apparently, the card's from the fish, not from Mary. I don't know. It turned up with Mary, but yes. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies out there. Yeah. We deserve at least one day where we can put our feet up and not do anything. Yeah. So yes, I did get some Father's Day presents. I've got some Bendix chocolate mints, a salted caramel cake, a waterproof laminated map of cycle routes of Norfolk, and a book on the Rebellion Way, a rather long cycle route which I'm not going to be attempting anytime soon. It's 370 kilometers, so we might do bits of it at a time. We're not going to do it all in one hit. That's for damn sure. I did probably around about 90k on Wednesday, and judging by how I felt Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing that again in a hurry. Yes, I celebrate it by giving birth to a mahoosive log. I have a food baby. That's what I do. Although this year it was a phantom food baby. I felt it evacuate under the splash, but when I looked down, there weren't nothing there. Anyway, so yes, fishy stuffs. Not a huge amount going on. Water changes. Moved the Limia out of that tank there. That's about it. No real new spawns unless you count even more baby shell dwellers, which I noticed last night. Baby cribs doing well. Baby nanacaras have all vanished again, so whether they're being eaten or they're starving, I'm not sure. So we'll have to pull more of the snails out and see if it's snails are eating all the available food. That's a distinct possibility in there. So yes, and then as I say, Wednesday was my big bike ride, which I survived. No long-term injuries. Worst thing I've got is insect bites on my legs, and I got those about half an hour before the end of the ride. So yay. But yes, most painful bit after I finished was my neck and shoulders. So lesson learned. get some panniers for the bike, not just a rack bag, so you don't have to carry a rucksack. Because having a heavy rucksack on for all 9 hours is not a nice feeling. Especially not when, say, you're on a bike, so you're leaning forward, you got your arms out, your neck tilt back, see where you're going, and yeah, it's not an ideal pose to have 20-30 pound on your back. Hat was just food and drink mostly as well. Well, the first aid kit and everything was in there as well. Food, drink, first aid kit, maps, spare clothes. Yeah, there was actually quite a lot in there. But yes, with that success anyway, I'm working on the next long distance route. I say long distance, it's actually shorter. But that's the Marriott's Way, which follows the old train track that runs from Aylsham to Norwich, that runs around through Reefham and a bunch of other little stations. That's 26 miles, and so then from Norwich to here is another 17, so that'll be an easy one dayer. So I won't be carrying a load of camping gear that I'm not going to use. Oh, please keep Bill Myers in thoughts and prayers. Oh dear, what's happened? What have I missed? Fish fan bot. Weird because I'm picture perfect today. Very strange. Must be my internet connection doesn't like north. Something like that. Storms are on the way, or rain at least is on the way. Something's coming. The wind's getting up, and I'm getting achy in areas that ache when the weather's about to change. Fishman Linkbot, hola. The internet, as far as I'm concerned, is just JFN. Just effing magic. Don't get me wrong, I understand how it works and all that kind of stuff, but the fact it actually does as well as it does, it's kind of mind-blowing, really. Ah, yes, question. Who did win the quiz last night? Was it Danny Boy? Have I got to come back and chat and get my lead back, or was it somebody else? Who-do-do? They're rather quiet tonight. Yes. So I hope everyone had a good Father's Day. It's really been one of those weeks where I had that one focus to get that ride done, and that was pretty much it. Medical issues. Yes, the diabetes, yes. Healing thoughts and good vibes. Positive vibes being sent. But unfortunately, it's one of those things with diabetes that can happen. I'm not sure if different types of insulin can fix that problem, but I know there are different varieties and flavors of insulin. Fast and slow release and all that stuff. So whether that might help, I have no idea. Obviously, not a medical expert, nor a diabetic that I know of. given the amount of sugar that goes through my system, I probably am. One reason to put off going to the doctors for an MOT. I don't want to find out what's wrong with me. There has to be something. I'm not going to go in there and he's going to tell me I'm a picture perfect health. As if he tells me that, then I'll be, oh, so it is only going to get worse. When stuff starts going wrong, this is how it's meant to be? Oh, God. But yeah. Didn't even get rid of any, sorry, not get rid, didn't even move on any fishies today either. So the store I was talking to about taking some in and exchanging them for some shrimpies, yeah, they didn't get back to me. Evening, Tampa Tom, Mr. Madmar, poo in the shoe and grass in your ass. Yes. Yes. I nearly had poo in my pants on Wednesday. Evening, Dennis, how you doing? Hope all is well. Your end and you're healing well. I don't want to know. I know whatever happens, there'll be three things: do more exercise, which I'm doing, eat more healthily, give up smoking, and quit the fizzy drinks. Yeah, it's not happening. As I've always said, I'd rather die younger and happy than older and miserable. And if I've got to stop doing things I enjoy, then I'm going to be miserable. I pretty much guarantee if anyone else in here tried my diet for a week, it'd probably make them badly ill. Jeff has had to leave. Yeah, I know Jeff's got stuff's going on. I'm 47, Dennis, so coming up with 50. Bun Bun, hello, my darling. Glad you're all good. Don't always mow grass. When I do, I listen to Sharpe. Speaking of, we want to see old and miserable. Oh, jeez. No, what you want is, especially those who are in the UK, you want me to die early so you can get my fish. Mm-hmm. Imagine that one. Yeah, someone gets a phone call. Yeah, it's a phone call from Mary. Yeah, my boyfriend passed and he kept fish. I kind of need to rehome all the fish. Could you perhaps help? Someone goes, ka-ching. Yeah, I'll come get those for you. Oh my God. Yeah. He's got a few bristle noses, I think. Bless. That is the thing, though. Mary does actually know what I've got and what they're called. So there won't be anyone trying to pull a fast one on her if they do. To be honest, there's probably enough here to pay for a funeral. Going to the dentist tomorrow to get the damn tooth out. Good, good, good. Because you know why dentists don't like taking teeth out? Because once they pull that tooth out, they don't get to charge you for it anymore. Hey, Lasers here. How you doing, sir? Hope all is well. In Kanakistan? I think so. I'm crap at remembering things. Um, I'm trying to remember the last time I went to the dentist. Probably getting on for 10 years now. Mainly because I can't go to the dentist. Because none of the dentists around here are taking on NHS patients at the moment and haven't done for years. And anytime they are, because a few people have died, those spaces go instantly. And no, they aren't opening more dentist surgeries or doctor's surgeries or anything useful. They're building thousands of houses in town, but they're not actually adding any actual infrastructure to help, you know. Yeah. As you know, there isn't money in making a doctor's surgery or a dentist or anything. Brian Babes. Which Pleco would I recommend for a 60-litre tank? I would recommend a pair of bristle noses of whichever flavour. Um, whether you want brown ones, black ones, red ones, stripy ones, green ones, blue ones, yellow ones, white ones, long fin ones, red eyes, blue eyes. But yeah, I'd go with a male and a female bristle nose. Thank you very much for that, Dennis. That's what I really wanted to hear. But that's one of the reasons I've been getting out on the bike and doing more cycling, get some exercise, hopefully reduce the risk of having a myocardial event. The fewer events I can have, the better. I'm not in the EU, yeah. And I don't ship. I mean, if it weren't going to cost a fortune to send them, which it would, um, if it was like how it used to be, like £3.95 to send a parcel, yeah, I'd just send you a couple, not a problem. But yeah, it costs an absolute fortune these days. I remember I sent a parcel to Marriott, and it cost more to send the parcel than what was in the parcel was worth. Um, oh, sure. I'll say anyone who's close enough and wants a couple of bristle noses, just let me know ahead of time, and you can come and grab them. So someone I know, not a problem. Um, as we all know, I'm not short a couple. A couple of bristlies ain't going to break the bank. Um, I might just make it a thing with any visitor I get. Go, have you got a fish tank? And I go, yes. And I go, here you go, with a bag full of stuff. Scotty at Quaddy, how you doing, Scotty Too Hotty? Oh god, yeah, that was a wrestler, weren't it, back in the day? WCW. I can't remember. It's been too long. Yeah. I wonder, would wrestling count as the first reality TV show? Because they're all completely fake. Imagine a reality TV show on a relatively normal family. It'd just be the dullest thing to watch. Ooh, old World Wildlife Fund stuff. Or World Wrestling Federation. Dating game? Yeah, possibly. Man, that wasn't it the dating game that there was a serial killer on? Bonsoir Angelique? Undertaker was good. Very good actor, yes. And athlete, yes. I'm not saying wrestling is easy and anyone could do it. You know, it takes skill, it takes training and understanding and all that stuff. And it hurts and it's dangerous. But what they're doing ain't real. Yeah, Rodney Antares, something like that. Yeah, if you just Google dating game killer, it should come up, Tommy. Pretty sure there was one on there. I mean, there was one that was on Bullseye, which is a 1980s and 90s darts-based game show where people that lived in a tower block in Bolton could win a speedboat. What? Yeah, the main prize was always really. I mean, all the prizes were bad. Thank you, Link. And yes, I'm on my oldie Zippo. Failure is not an option. That was the Apollo crest on the front. But you know, when you stick a lighter in your pocket with your keys and your change, a decal tends to rub off after a while. Yes, it's a decal, not painted or enameled. My Marlboro one's in better shape, but I filled that one up and took that one on the ride with me just because the failure is not an option. Just as like a motivational tool. So every time I see a cigarette. Don't overfill. Oh no, always overfill them. You got to fill them up till the petrol's dripping out of the wick. The main thing is don't fill them out of a two-stroke petrol tank. That's a bad idea because you get a flame like that and a big old plume of black smoke from the oil burning. Trust me, don't taste good either. But when I used to ride motorbikes, I used to take a Zippo with me because if it ran out, I could fill it up out of the fuel tank. Um, yeah, don't use methylated spirits or denatured alcohol either. Neither are good. And definitely don't use nitromethanol because that doesn't go out when you close the case. And it also burns with a clear flame, so you can't actually see that it's a light. The Pleco wrestler. What would my finishing move be? The nom. Just go nom 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 nom. I mean, that's the finishing move, or just cover them in a massive pile of poop, I guess. Yeah. You saw nitromethanol for the gas-powered RC cars. Yes, that's why I have it. I think I've still got a few gallons of it upstairs. I never got any smell sense off of it, obviously. I can tell you though, castor oil isn't a good flavour. When you're starting a siphon with nitrometh, that's not good. Don't do it. Oh, yes. Bionic Bigfoot. The bionic, was it the $5 million man or something like that, wasn't it? 10 scale Baja trucks. I have an Emax. I have 8 scale buggies. I have 8 scale monster truck. I have a wardrobe full of RC cars. I've got a 10th scale stadium truck. Nitro. I think that's all the nitros I've got. The rest are all electric. $6 million man, that was the one. Which these days, $6 million don't get you much. The unscented snuff is just like nose hair burning. Well, if it's burning and you're sniffing it, that probably is your nose hair burning, Tommy. Yeah. So nitro was fun for a bit, and then brushless came along, and brushless is actually faster than nitro, and actually works all the time. Doesn't annoy everyone as well with the constant noise of engines revving up to 30, 40,000 RPM. Yes, I had in the Novak Super Rooster. Oh, wowzers, they were cool. In my Emax, which runs, because it's old school, it's brushed, but it runs twin 14-turn Trinity hand wound motors, 4 battery packs, and has a prototype M-Tronic speed controller that is rated at 1240 amps. Yeah, they didn't release that one to the public. I think I've got the only one in existence. But yeah, that thing's ridiculously grunty. It's got the 9-inch, 8.5-inch jumbo Kong tire on it. It's all aluminium. The only original parts are the bumper mounts. And it weighs something like 14 kilo, like 28 pound, and it drives straight upstairs. It's a beast. And then the other one, the Nitro one, is a low CLSC. That's full carbon and titanium, running a hand-built 28 turbo crank peak engine. And that thing is ridiculously fast. Yeah, and we're talking weird numbers and stuff that nobody else has got the clue. Got the full Novak setup, speedo, all the original speed controller customizable, 3 to 5 different settings. Yeah, they were. After speedos these days, you plug into a laptop. It's like setting up an actual car. Actually, I think I've still got a Novak t-shirt somewhere as well. We used to use the Novak XL receivers because they were small enough to fit into all the different nooks and crannies of the various cars. Because some manufacturers would design a chassis that you couldn't actually fit the electronics in, which never made sense to me. When you're having to make a bracket or a shelf out of Lexan just to mount the receiver somewhere, or it sits on top of the steering servo because it's the only space there is. Yeah, I'll say the old school setup style. Yeah, I remember the old there's the LRPs where you pulled the little chip out and turned it around to different settings. They were quite cool. You always just used to pull the chip out and leave it out though to get full power. and was it the MRT that was fully programmable for all the various throttle curves and brake curves and traction control and anti-brakes. Yeah, I call them anti-brakes because in an RC car, ABS is just a waste of time. An electric one especially. Work okay in a nitro because you actually got a brake, so it actually does something rather than just short the motor out. Yes, and carbon brakes in all my nitro cars as well. Discs and pads. Because that's just the way I roll. It's like I used to be a sort of work-sponsored driver, so I'd get my stuff very cheap and I'd get sent lots of things for free. 245 squats today. Wowzers. If you could squat in a different area and crush down some more of the brambles. RC10T3, sweet. I've got a low C triple X NT Drake edition. What's that? Yeah, that was the nitro. I've got triple X NT Kinwald, which is the electric. Trinity Switchblade Spatchet edition. You may notice a theme here. They're all the ridiculous top line kind of. My two most modern are the Losi 22.4 and 22 2.0. Two-wheel and four-wheel drive buggies. Both running brushless. The two-wheel drive is running a semi-sensible one. The four-wheel drive is running a ludicrously, insanely fast brushless motor setup, which you can't actually race anywhere because it's deemed too powerful. Yeah, so if you know anything about your brushless motor numbers, it's a 5.5. Thomas Scotty, how you doing, Mr. Alien World? And I'm guessing Giggler in the background somewhere. Hello, Paige. And Purdy Paddy. All these people turning up as we're talking RC cars. Look at that. They think they're here to talk about fish. I can run on about radio controlled cars for days. I did that hobby for a long time. We actually did a thing once when I worked in the model shop where all us guys, all the people that worked there, we made a list of the various cars we'd owned over the years. And there was like some had like 6, 5, I had like 20. I'm looking out, I'm thinking, okay. Now, what are you still doing? What are you still writing? What are you still writing? What? I got some 145 RC cars. Yeah, I kind of knew how to pull everything apart and put it back together. When you can swap out a diff for a T-Max in under 5 minutes, you know you've done it too often. But good day, Mr. Marco. How you doing, my friend? Are Al back home now? Or are you still on tour somewhere? Yeah. It's been a long tour. Well deserved, no doubt, but it'd be nice to get back to work for a rest, I think. That's what I kind of jokingly said Saturday when I went into work just to check the schedules and do 10 minutes on the bike just to check it was actually working. Because I wasn't sure whether it was the bike or me making weird noises Wednesday evening. And yeah, I sort of jokingly said, yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back on Monday. And, oh, really? Well, yeah, I could do with a rest. But that's the thing. I'll be working the late, so delivery will all be done by the time I get in. So I'd just be standing there serving customers and maybe sweeping the floor. I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, what else happened? Right near the end of the ride on Wednesday, the GoPro mount broke on the bike. No damage to the GoPro itself, that's fine. Uh, yeah, the actual mount snapped. Maybe the trails were a bit rough for what I was using. But yeah, these things happen. And I thought I'd got most of the ride on time lapse, but it turns out I didn't. I've got a small fraction of it. I think it works out with the time lapse. I think it's like 5 or 6 minutes worth of video spread over about 11 videos. So I'll put those up anyway, but just so people can see the Norfolk countryside. There's a few bits of me going down rather dodgy bridle paths and getting lost. Basically, anytime the video stops in one place for a couple of seconds, that's because I'm looking at my map and trying to figure out where the hell I am. Because due to the unique way that East Anglia, Norfolk specifically, because during World War II, it was highly feared that Germans might invade via East Anglia. They took down all the road signs in World War II, so the Germans couldn't find their way around as easily. And they still haven't put them all back up again. So you're out in the middle of the sticks, in the middle of nowhere, and you come to a junction, and there's no road signs, nothing, and you're looking at a map, and you're trying to figure out where the hell you are. You then go to check your Google Maps, because, there's an app for that, or my Outdoor Active map, which is the other one I've used. And that hasn't got a clue where you are either, because you've got no mobile phone signal. Yeah. So you go, well, I know I'm going roughly this direction. Where I want to get to is over that direction. So if I go that way, there might be a road that goes that way and takes me there. Yeah. That kind of route planning. So what should have been a 36-mile ride and then 12 miles home, for a grand total of 48, because I couldn't do the actual footpathy sections, which, well, not all of them anyway, because of gates and things that I couldn't get the bike through. 03:40 a.m. back for the first shift in 2 hours. Oh, enjoy your nap. I'd probably be falling asleep on the clock. Yeah, so it should have been 46 miles. By the time diversions and me getting lost and backtracking once or twice and having to find alternate routes, because obviously I couldn't take the path across the field or whatever every time due to gates. Yeah, I think I end up, closest I can tell is I end up doing 58 miles in a day. It isn't a huge amount, but for an unfit, fat, hairy bloke on a hot day, and there were hills. I mean, I'm not going with sympathy because it's Norfolk, and a hill in Norfolk doesn't equal a hill in, say, anywhere else, apart from maybe Holland. But yeah, when you're carrying a lot of weight as well, not just me, I mean rucksack and weight on the bike, any kind of hill up hurts, and any kind of downhill is scary because you go a lot faster. Do you ride the bike on the wrong side of the road? Do you ride on the wrong side of the bike? Oh dear. No, we still have right-hand drive bikes. Um, that is, the chain set is on the right-hand side. There were a few bits where I wasn't exactly sure what side of the bike road or trail I was meant to be on, and there were some bits where the trail was literally that kind of width. Going along trying to dodge the stinging nettles and the brambles and the giant hogweed so I didn't get stung to beggary. But thankfully there was only a couple of sections like that, and only one of them was a steep downhill, which was really sketchy. But the bike made it, and I made it, so all good. I just got to wash the bike at some point because it's covered in road dust and grime and ugh. Oh. Even big hugs to Bun Bun. And the other problem was actually getting on and off the bike. It was that heavy on the back end with the rack bag and then the tarps, everything strapped on the top of that. And it was actually higher than the seat, which is already quite high. So having to lean the bike over so I can get my leg over it, and then because it's so heavy on the back, the front end starts lifting up, and yeah, that was fun. Pretty outside, a little hot. Breeze is fantastic. Unfortunately, humid. Yeah, it was. It's supposed to rain today. It's supposed to be thunderstorms. It was getting rather breezy, but the breeze appears to have completely died now. So whether there is something in the area, I don't know. It said about 7 o'clock, so we'll see. Good day, Adele. How are you, my dear? Hope all is well in the world of retail. I would say the wonderful world, but we both know it's not a wonderful world. Um, if you've never worked retail, I suggest you do for at least a short period of time, and then you'll realise. Glad when hired a guy to come and hang my vented storm door, then we'll lay on the bed and get a nice breeze. Oh, well, yeah, it's all depends where you live and how things are set up as to whether you can get away with leaving things open or not. Yucky Oklahoma. Uh, is that one of the big flat states or one of the mostly flat with some mountainy bits in it? I seem to think it's mostly flat with some mountainy bits. 30-hour week in the wonderful world of retail. Well, 30 hours isn't too bad. I do 24 hours a week. That's plenty enough. And I don't have to deal with many little old ladies. And I've got good management, so even better. Yeah, so if someone could go and just fan Bun Bun for a bit. Oh, sorry, Adele. We'll make you El Moderati if I click the right buttons anyway. There we go. There you go, Adele. I turned you blue to stop you being blue. Surf Squad. Yes, you can be my wrench wench anytime you like. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not like we need huge amounts of moderation here, is it? It's not generally enough people to worry about it. Smurf Squad. No, I'm not going to start singing Smurf songs. First thing she does when I make her a moderator, swear. Good idea, Adele. Oh dear. Yeah, so it's not like we get trolls or weirdness or stuff going on. It's a pledge of loyalty on the altar. Oh dear. If anyone's got an altar, devote it to me. I feel sorry for you. Your life must indeed be empty and bereft of anything good. Oh dear. So glad to have this stream, that fish fan community, for being here. Ooh. Oh, now that is a guilt trip, Sam. Don't you dare hit that join button, Adele. Not right now, anyway. Feel welcome to at some point, but not right now when you're being guilt tripped into it. Ivy's exempted because she already lives in Oklahoma. Oh, bless. Like I say, with memberships, super chats, super thanks, all that kind of stuff, or PayPal-y stuffs. It's always appreciated when anyone does it. It really is. It does help. But I don't expect anyone to do it because I know not everyone is rolling in the cash. Some of us are having a hard time with things. Others are having a far harder time with things than me. So if you got a bit of spare cash, I'd rather it went to a more needy source. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's Oklahoma, that big of a punishment. It's right up there with Cooper Pedy. That's all I'm going to say. I'll say it's. It's a highly imaginative state when the state capital is Oklahoma City. That tells you everything. I think I assume Oklahoma City is the state capital of Oklahoma. It's probably some random little town with about 12 people. Well, sorry, that wouldn't be a town, it'd be a village. Actually, it wouldn't even be a village, it'd be a hamlet. Dust Bowl. Yes, where they kept growing the crop after crop after crop after crop after crop. Cut down all the hedgerows and everything so they could plant more crops, and then wondered why all the topsoil blew away. Town has 5,800 people, so yeah, a small town. Yes. Still encourage for brothers and sisters to get married in Oklahoma. Well, I mean, you can kind of understand it because if we were Ivy's brother, just saying. If all the Oklahoman ladies look like Ivy, well then everyone's going to want to move there. At which point Ivy is now blushing bright red. Yeah, I don't even know how many people are in my town. It's probably up. It's just growing all the time. So I think probably around 20,000 now, and it's a small town. But we do have very specific set of rules about when somewhere is a hamlet, a village, a town, or a city. So you could have somewhere with 80 million people living there, but if it doesn't have a cathedral, it's not a city, it's a town. So a hamlet has several houses but doesn't have any amenities, so no pub, no shop, no church. A village has a church, a pub, and a shop. A town has churches, pubs, shops, and I think it's a market and a police station. A city has to have all the above and a cathedral, a library, a prison, and a railway station. That's how it gets to be those things. Oh. There's lots of inbreeding going on. From what I'm aware of, it's a rather religious kind of state, rather than there's something that will be very strange over here. We've got churches being turned into skate parks, so you know, maybe half a dozen people. Yeah, I mean, before I started working retail in Attleborough, there were maybe half a dozen people I knew, and now I can't go out, walk out the door more than 100 yards without seeing someone who knows me, either because I've sold them food, cigarettes, alcohol, or power tools. Half the time I don't know their name, but I do know what they smoke, or their favourite drink. Sad, I know, but yeah, I'll remember 20 Carlton Reds. I won't remember the name. Yeah, it's the thing is, you know, you grow your social circle to the size that you want it and the people that you want in it. You don't grow your social circle bigger than you want or can handle and with people you don't want in it. That's the joy of being an adult. If you don't want to deal with certain people, you don't have to, unless you're getting paid for it. Yes, the hermit is strong with bunny. Yes, we need to find a cave. Remember me, there's no bags, no matter how many items. I don't want the plastic. Yes. Now, how many items? So when you go shopping, yes, I get it. Yeah, I don't get bags when I go shopping either. I take a rucksack with me. And if it don't fit in a rucksack, I don't buy it. Admittedly, I do have several rucksacks, one of which is rather large. 65 litre. What's that? 10, 15, 17-gallon rucksack. No, it's the kind of one where you put it on and the top of the rucksack comes up to about here, and it's down below your butt level. So I'm not sure. Yeah, he says, well, how are you going to carry it all? Carefully, sensibly, or just leave it in the cart, take the cart to the car, unload it straight into the trunk, and then, because you're a nice person, you take the cart back to the cart park, and then you drive off, and when you get home you can unload it at your leisure. Look at me doing American. Incest is the best, relatively speaking. Yeah. So I know it seems weird. Here I am with a YouTube channel doing live streams with a wonky camera. Let's straighten it up a little bit. There we go. But yeah, I'm an introvert. I don't do people. Yeah, an introvert that doesn't like people that has a YouTube channel and works retail. Work that one out. Yeah. Now people understand why I need lots of me time. Why, on days off, if I can, I will literally not leave the house. It's I'm working Monday, so I'll have to do fry rack water changes Monday morning, and because one of them is now empty, that'll get the Shelly tank done Monday morning. And then I'm off Tuesday, so I'll do the rest of the water changes and a bit of shopping, but that's it. Hashtag me time. How you doing, Greg? Hope all is good. Yeah, Sharpe has a YouTube channel he doesn't want anyone to watch. Started it to be alone. It's weird because the reason I actually started a YouTube channel was I was involved with a scale modeling group, and I was joining them on some of their live streams because it's another thing I know. And I was kind of well known in the hobby, not necessarily for the right reasons. Right reasons for me, because I'll troll anyone. But because I was not involved in that, and even if you just join in chat, you've got a YouTube account and you've got your name set there. And I started getting these weird emails that people were subscribing to me. I was like, what? Huh? And I looked and I got like 20 or 30 subscribers, and I was like, I really should probably do some content. So you scroll right back to the beginning of the channel many, many years ago. It's just like using my old tablet and going, hi, this is what I'm building. And then it went from there. Model kits, and then fish, and then ghosties, and history, and now bikies, and all kinds of stuffs. And a subscriber count that keeps going downwards. It got up as high as 1850 and it's down to 1800 now, so I must be doing something to annoy people. Or it's that YouTube doing its thing of unsubscribing people. Which, no matter how much they say that it doesn't, oh no, it doesn't do that, it doesn't, no, it doesn't unsubscribe you. Yes, it does. Because there'll be channels that you know you're subscribed to, and then they'll suddenly disappear off your feed and you won't see anything for months, and you think, that's weird. I haven't seen anything from such and such for ages. And then you go through your subscription list and they're not there. So, okay, we type the name in, up comes the channel. There's been a whole load of content, but yeah, it unsubscribed you, so you didn't get notified of any of it. But thanks. That's really helpful. It's warm, so I'll put on a pair of swimming shorts. No, they've never been swimming in their life. A bit too tight around the thigh. Not particularly comfortable. I like looser fitting clothing. Mr. Thunder thighs here. These aren't the right size. They're the right size waist wise, but I don't know who the hell's legs these are supposed to fit, because I mean my legs aren't that big. I think that's the reason I didn't actually wear them much, why they still look brand new, was because they're just too tight around. They're tight in places you don't want them tight, and then yeah. I can't even remember why I bought a pair of white and grey shorts with flowers on them. They must have been cheap. And the only reason I dug them out of the back of the wardrobe was for sleeping in when I went camping on Wednesday, and then I didn't go camping. So, oh well, never mind. At least I've got all the stuff now, so when I do go somewhere and I do need to camp, I can. I don't have to spend any more money, except for on a set of panniers, just so I don't have to carry a rucksack, because I think that's what the most painful part was. Pardon me. Although long term, the most painful part has been the bloody insect bites on my legs. It's only like today that I've stopped burning and itching. So I don't know what bit me. And never mind. That soon clear up. There's a few more scars on my legs ain't going to make no difference. Let's be honest. Hurry up and rain. Not that it's going to now the wind's dropped. Oh, he says that as the wind starts picking up again. What else did I do this week? Yes, I retightened the netting over the pond because, well, birds were using it as a bird bath and cats were drinking out of it, and I topped it up as well from the water butt with a couple of buckets full out of the tap. Not too much because they didn't want to cause a pH jump or anything weird. And yes, I did remember to dechlorinate it, and yes, I did just use cold water. And the fish seem happier with a bit more water in there. It was down quite a long way because it's not rained for the best part of 2 months, I think now. Feels like anyway. So fingers crossed. All fingers crossed that it absolutely throws it down for the next few days. Yes, I know I've got to go to work, but I don't mind getting wet, especially when it's warm, because you soon dry out again. And if it's raining, well, it's like a 5-minute cycle ride to work when it's dry. So, what size of a settlement do I need to have a knock shop? A big one. Never marry a 25-year-old virgin. She ain't good enough for a family. She won't be good for you. There is truth in that. Settlement need a knock shop. Probably cities. I think most towns there'll be the occasional lady of the night. There are a few here. Not that you'd want to visit them. Yeah, I think you got to have a city before you get a brothel or the like, or a large town, possibly. But yeah, I mean, going back in time, having a brothel might have been one of the requirements for a city. You never know. But ever since that got made illegal, back in probably pre-Victorian, was it illegal in the Victorian era, or was it just highly frowned upon? I don't know. Not something I've really looked into. And my Google search history is weird enough without starting to look into the history of what are we supposed to call it these days? S workers, I think, is the term that YouTube ladies of the day. Well, yeah. Knowing where you are, Tom, that doesn't surprise me. You have Florida man to deal with as well, so you probably need him during the day. Oh dear. I, what is there any particular reason? I mean, why Florida man seems so prevalent? It's it's like really really awful education system, or lots of inbreeding, or what? They're kind of known about worldwide. I mean, I don't even really think there's an English equivalent or a UK equivalent, without going to bad jokes about Irish navvies or anything like that. Um, and we got the inbreds bit sorted out. Oh, and that's this part of the country. Um, the Fens is apparently the area of the inbreds, but that dates back to when it was all islands and swamp, as we were talking about on Andrew's stream last night. But I'm like something like 78 feet above sea level, and there are large parts of the county that are below sea level. So if you've ever been to the Netherlands, yeah, you've pretty much been to Norfolk. I was born here, so I might be the problem. No, you're capable of watching or listening to a stream and mowing at the same time. So that doesn't qualify you as being a Florida man. A man from Florida, yes, but not Florida man. Uh, so that's the one of the things that I always laugh off is people go, "Oh, Norfolk, you got 12 fingers and webbed feet." I'm like, I'm not from Norfolk. I just live here. Thankfully, I'm not from Essex. Yeah, Essex boy is probably our equivalent of Florida man. Um, Dumb and vacuous, more worried about hair and style and makeup than about anything actually worthwhile. The kind of people that go for a haircut because their hair's grown 3 millimeters or 2/16. There we go. Something like the hair grows that much. Oh no, no, I need a haircut. It's getting too long. It's like there's a guy I work with who can't understand how I can bear to have long hair. Because he hates it. If his hair moves, he doesn't like it. If it's long enough to move, then it needs cutting. And I'm like, really? You never had anything any longer than a buzz cut? Oh no, I don't like it when my hair moves. Huh. Grow it long enough and it don't. Gravity takes care of that. Itchy nose. Oh dear. Mm. So, does anyone have any questions? Or any thoughts or points they would like to bring up? As if you hadn't noticed, I've kind of run out of stuff to talk about. And, oh, pardon me. No, there's not a hippo. That is just me burping if you're only listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. Change the name to Florida Man Tom. I guarantee you that channel name will get a lot of clicks. Just from people expecting dumb stuff to happen. Well, given some of the things I've seen lately, I mean, there are like pressure washing and lawn mowing channels that get millions of views. So, you know, just film yourself mowing lawns and talking about how to mow a lawn and the specific struggles or difference between this lawn and the lawn we did last week or whatever. Probably get quite a lot of views. How to service your mower or your scythe. Best way to whack weeds. Reasons why you actually want to wear long trousers, gloves, and eye protection. Not just because of flying rocks, because the other nasty stuff you'll find in amongst it. I mean, the worst thing I found when strimming once was a baby rabbit. Yeah, strimming, weed whacking, same thing. It did that whole freeze and hope nobody notices me, and I didn't notice it. And I accidentally weed whacked its head off. Whoops. That was a particularly unpleasant experience. Probably more so for the rabbit than it was for me. But if I'd have known it was there, I would have left it be. But I didn't know it was there, so. Hey, I love bunnies. Bunnies are awesome. There is very little in the world better than bunny mouth. And I say that mouth, M-O-U-F. Because bunny smiles are just awesome. And bunny tongues, and bunny ears, and bunny butts, and bunny feet, and bunny tails. Yeah, bunnies just rock. And half the time they haven't got a single brain cell. But other than that, they're awesome creatures. Yes, remember do all the algae rhythm stuff. Yeah, as I said, I did do a bunch of time-lapse filming of my ride. What I'll probably do is upload them all at once, put them in a playlist, because uploading one of them a week is just not worth. It'd take me longer to fire up HMS crap top than it will upload the video. I forget how many frames a second it takes. I think it's like 1 frame a second every couple of seconds or something. 1 frame every 5 seconds. something ridiculous like that. So if you watch them, it does look like I'm zooming along at a fast rate of knots, and I'm not. I think I averaged about 10 or 12 mile an hour for the ride, which is still a decent pace, but we hope to get the next one done a bit quicker. Hopefully the weather will be a bit more cooperative and it won't be hot again. So that's following the old railway route before Dr. Beeching shut them all down. And then from once I've done the railway route, it's through Norwich city centre and then down A roads basically all the way home. Those are 6 little 4-week-old kittens. Oh, are we talking cat kittens or bunny kittens? It's either are cute, but bunnies are just extra cute. It's not something I ever thought I would do. Cat kittens, not bunny kittens. It's one of those things I never thought I'd be like a huge fan of rabbits, but they're just such little characters. They get stroppy. They give you licks and snuggles as well. Become a member for 99p. You can support his crippling energy drink addiction. Not the energy drinks, it's the caffeine and sugar. It's just the most efficient way to get a sensible level of caffeine and sugar into my system for a short period of time. I mean, I accidentally bought one of the sugar-free ones. Yeah, it was sugar-free and didn't even have caffeine in it. It was a recovery drink, it turned out. I thought it was just like an off-brand Red Bull kind of thing, because that's what the can looked like. Then it was, as I was drinking it on Wednesday, sat by Dismere, going glug glug. And look at the can. It's going about magnesium and potassium and all these things. I mean, hang on. Look at the ingredients. Nowhere on there does it say sugar or caffeine. I'm like, oh, bugger. But yeah, it did the job. It hydrated me. And who knows? Perhaps I would have felt worse if I hadn't have had it. I just found that stuffing my face full of chocolate and Coke did the same trick. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did when I got home. I think it was about 7:15. Had a short natter with Mary. Started watching the Le Mans 24 hour. Fell asleep in the armchair. Woke up 2 hours later. Had another short natter with Mary. Went to bed. And yeah, I literally, from the time I got home to the time I went to bed Thursday night, I slept 13 hours. So yeah, I definitely needed that. And for me to sleep 8 hours is fairly unheard of. 8 hours in a day, but oh my god, 13 hours. But yeah, I'll say so. Yes, the next day I may have had to visit the chip shop. I figured I'd burnt enough calories the day before. I'm allowed to top up again. I mean, I'm basically never going to go down the whole bike computer work out so it tells me how many calories I burnt and how many calories I need to put in. No. I might at some point get a sat nav that I can mount on my bike, but to be honest, I prefer using maps. And just stop and read a map, figure out where you are. It's a lot nicer, a lot more fun experience for me anyway. It keeps that part of your brain going, figuring out where you are, which direction you need to go. But yeah, when I got to this, which is the end of the route, the actual technical end of the route, the real end of the route is this train station, but I didn't fancy rush hour riding through the centre of Dis, going to the train station, which is going to be crowded, to go, yeah, I made it, and then having to cycle all the way back through it to get back out of Dis again. So I stopped at Dismere. So it's just a big lake. I do have a cell phone and I do have sat nav, Google Maps. If Google Maps does work when you've got phone signal, and as I found, there are quite a few places out in the wilds of Norfolk where you don't get phone signal. Or if you do, it's not a good enough phone signal to run anything internety. It can't beat a good old Ordnance Survey map. And the ride actually, to give a clue of the scale on an Ordnance Survey map, Wednesday's ride took me through 2 maps. Yeah, I know it works, but if it doesn't know where you are, I'll say I use it. So I'd like go, right, where am I? Oh, right, yeah, I don't know. Right, open up maps. Right, okay, I'm there. Right, shut that down. I'm there on the map. Right, I've got to go that way, and work it out that way. Please take my metadata. Yeah, so I've started using the Outdoor Active app, which I don't know if it's worldwide. It might be a UK one. I think it might be worldwide, but hello, Debs, darling. How are you? That does seem, because Google Maps doesn't cover footpaths, bridleways, and all that stuff. It covers roads, and a lot of where I'm riding isn't necessarily a road. So yeah, it doesn't even exist on Google Maps, whereas on Outdoor Active it does, because it's a cycle route or a footpath. But yeah, I still prefer the good old-fashioned Ordnance Survey map. I'll go grab one. Ugh. There we go. Ordnance Survey. And the pink line is mostly part of the route I took. City and Norwich up there. Let's run through the towns and villages I went through, shall we? So we came from Norwich, through Lakenham, through Trowse, Caister St Edmund, or Arminghall, Caister St Edmund, Upper Stoke. I went a bit wrong. I went through Stoke Holy Cross, back across and up to Upper Stoke, down through Shopsham, around the outside of Shopsham, except I've got kind of turned around there as well. Saxagon, Nethergate, Taysborough, Morningsthorpe, Fritton, Fulham Market. That's one map done. And yes, the maps are two-sided. This is only half the map. Yes. Well, that's the side I didn't ride. And we did only use like half of this one, so result. So, and it was, so yes. Oh no, we did use a little bit on that side. Just a tiny amount. But that was through Tyrrell's Wood down to Fulham Market, across the Tivitshall St Mary, and then through Shimpling. Skull is where I got a bit kerfuddled and semi-lost. Through Thelverton and Friends, back to this, then out through this by Shelfanger, Winfarthing, New Buckingham, Old Buckingham, back to Attleborough. What I will do at some point is I will I'll be dogging at me. Oh, plenty of them. But what I will do at some point is get the maps out and do a video showing what the route was and the route I actually took. Because I have those little swing kissing gates, which mean you can't get through. You can't even get through them if you're wearing a big rucksack. So there's no way I was going to get my bike through them, and I'm not lifting it over the top. Maybe unloaded, I might try it, but not as I say when I'm carrying many extra kilos and it's a hot day and I'm worn out and I'm miles and miles away from home, and the last thing I want to do is drop it and break something. I have to ride the rest of the way with one pedal or no gears or something. Although that would have made it a 2-dayer. Hello, Sarah, or Sarah, whichever one it is. Oh, crap, her names. Yeah, so if you'd be interested in actually seeing me running through a map and showing where I went, then let me know and I'll do that. Oh, hello, Blackie Cat. No, definitely not going to come in. But yeah, so if you want to see me going through the maps and show them whereabouts I went and the routes I took, where I got turned around and lost and missed a bunch of signs, or either I missed them or they just weren't there. Let's put it that way. And if you're walking, it's a lot easier to see a sign than if you're, because we're not talking about big road signs that say Boudic away this way. We're talking a little wooden stake that has literally a little badge on it about that big with an arrow pointing in a certain direction. And when this time of year, when everything's growing up and sorted, everything's fully growing and overgrown and you can't see them. So I probably missed them. Some I couldn't get through, but I did the route in spirit. Let's put it that way. I mean, I could have done it the easy way and just gone straight down the A140, which would have probably taken me a couple of hours, and chances are I might have died. Thank you very much, Bob. Greetings, sir. Been a member for 17 months. How are you, my friend? Ooh, 300 gallon. That sounds to me like a Pleco grow out tub. Yeah. You know, I think if I put all my Plecos in a 300 gallon tank, people would still complain it was overstocked. Oh, bless. You can't. When was the last time you went to the fish store and saw their stocking levels? Excited to swim with the grandkids. I suppose some like one of the big stock tank or Rubbermaid tubs, probably cheaper than a swimming pool or a paddling, a paddling pool that's not going to fall apart in 5 minutes. Um, Although I have seen quite a few videos online recently of people trying to empty inflatable paddling pools and struggling. It's like none of them realise that if you just pull the air bung out, it'll go down and then the water will empty on its own. They're all like trying to tip it over and fold it up and falling in it. And I'm like, just pull the bung out and it'll just go, psst, and all the water will come out naturally. Huh? Or just jab a hole in the bottom of it. That's the easy way. It'll empty a lot quicker. Um, yes. And actually, speaking of which, is anyone doing any summer tubbing this year? I kind of got a bit carried away and forgot about it. Don't encourage Bobby or as a pond, he can drown in. Oh, I could drown in my pond. Psst, psst, psst. Come on, Blackie cat. No? You're going to look at me, you're going to recognise me, and you're going to go, nope, I only do fusses when I'm outside. Oh dear. So I don't even float, so I'm not getting in any water deeper than like ankle deep. I'm just outside of this. There's a section where there is a ford that I could quite easily have ridden through, or even just taken my shoes and socks off and walked through, and it would have been lovely and cool. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go 150 yards that way and go across the little bridge. It's going to keep me dry at least. Our grandson Bob also says to scout. She's easy to keep track of. Yeah, young boys do tend to be kind of hard to keep track of. That's why my parents and grandparents always put reins on me so they could just tie me to things and I wouldn't run away. It was actually better that way because then I got to just sit outside the shop or the store and be tied up to the dog rail and play with the dogs. Evening, Ritesh, Ricky. Drinking with friends. Before you go, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ritesh. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray. There we go. See, I don't have cool buttons I can press that do it automatically. I actually have to do it myself. Mum nearly did it in. That is the good thing about grandkids. You can give them back. Got a new snake, big old Mojave leopard ball python. Ooh. I'm going with Mojave, not Mojave. Although Mojave would probably be a more amusing pronunciation. Um, have you found the one that escaped yet, Bob? Or is that still living somewhere? I'm assuming you'd have smelt if it's not living. But, oh, I'm all right. It fusses to Tibby and doggos and the other cats. Obviously, Yazi being number one amongst the doggos, and Tibby being number one amongst the kitties. Uh, mm, yeah, maybe don't fuss the fish or the snakes. Probably best not to. Just safer that way. Yes. Happy Father's Day. I got my card there. It's from my fish, honest. That's what it says in there. I mean, it's weirdly, it says it in Mary's handwriting, but you know. If the fish could get me a card, then I'd be very surprised. I'd want to know where they were getting the money from. It's not like you can put your fish to work. And only thing you can really do is just hope they make more fish and that you can sell them. And it's just I think we're going to have a clear out of Shelley's at some point fairly soon, though, because the amount of fry we got in there, I think I got mostly females, judging by the amount of different spawns that are in there. So, ooh, what else was there? Was there anything else I needed to talk about? Back to work next week. Um, anything else interesting happened this week? No. Well, nothing out of the ordinary. A few minor paranormally type things going on around the house, but pineapple does not belong on pizza. On top of a gammon steak, perhaps, but not on a pizza. And if it comes and it's on top of the gammon steak, you then take it off the gammon steak, eat the gammon, eat the chips, and then maybe eat the pineapple. That's that's how you do it. Because the pineapple then is your dessert, and you don't have to order a dessert. It saves you money. There we go. Which is more money you can put towards fish or fish food or paying the electric bill for running however many tanks. My favourite pizza is going to be a meat feast. Basically, all the spicy meats on there and meatballs. Two flavours in one bite. I don't get two flavours. I just get one mush of a flavour, and I've never been a fan of sweet and savoury. It just doesn't work for me. So that said, I have been known to dip chips in ice cream in the past. So my favourite pizza is going to be barbecue base, cheese, extra cheese, spicy meatballs, spicy beef, spicy ham, pork sausage, pepperoni, salami, ham, probably anchovies just to add a bit more saltiness. This piece of barbecue sauce as well, right? Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes, so I mean, if you want a plain cheese with tomato sauce pizza, just make cheese on toast and put some ketchup on it. Yeah, I'm wanted for war crimes anyway by the Geneva Convention. Something to do with chemical weapons, biohazards, that kind of thing. They just leave me alone because it's not safe enough to come and get me, apparently. They're scared I'm going to pass wind in their general direction. Exactly. And then they'd probably try and feed me something healthy, which would make matters even worse. Just remembering the last time I had a salad. Oh boy, was that bad. Way too much green and orange stuff. I like my food brown. Let's put it that way. It's, healthy food is unhealthy for a Sharpie. Healthy food makes me ill. Which is why it's quite funny looking through all these sort of cycling groups and forums and things, and they're talking about what you should eat and drink, and yeah, beige food is usually good. Yeah, beige food is tasty. They're going about it. All these things you should eat and drink, and how calories and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, I just stop when I feel hungry or thirsty. Eat whatever I've got. Might be a bacon sandwich, might be a sausage roll, might be a chocolate bar. Have a swig of Coke, maybe a swig of water if I'm feeling really good, then have a ciggy, and then get going again. And they're like, but that's not right. You should do this. You should do that. You really shouldn't smoke. I'm like, I'm nearly 50. I don't care. I think these people are mostly very young, you know, late teens, early 20s. Big soft pretzel with beer cheese dip and brown mustard. That sounds good. I could do that. And I'm not a huge fan of pretzels or bagels. That's it. A bagel to me is basically a stale, unsweetened donut. Weird how Indian food is so prevalent in the UK. Not really. I mean, India was part of the empire for a long time. I think all the spices, yeah, we get used to it. Well, some of us do. You know, some of us are spice heads. Um, there are others who can't take the spice at all, and they'll have a chicken korma and think it's adventurous and spicy. And that's just chicken, rice, and gravy. There's no heat or spice in that whatsoever. Oh no, it's quite hot. This place does. It's quite hot. No, it's chicken with white sauce, basically. Chicken with white gravy, like American gravy. Yeah, I'm like, no. Oh, give me a vindaloo. Yeah, it's naan with mozzarella. Yeah, naan with anything. Naan with garlic butter and melted cheese is epic. Trust me on that. Yes, naan with everything. Naan or pita. Pita bread's good as well. That's another one. That's basically naan with a pocket. So all the food, all the stuffing goes inside it and makes less of a mess. Although pitas tend to be a lot smaller than naans, so you need quite a few of them, especially if you're a larger person with a big appetite. I can murder a few naans. That's not a problem. But then again, if you go for an Indian and you get the naans, and there are people who'll eat Indian, then they'll be looking for what goes on the naan, and I think you use the naan bread as the scoop to eat the curry with. You don't need a knife and fork. Pita bread is a marsupial naan, exactly. Yeah, they're both flatbreads. Good Greek ones, not the crappy cardboard ones they call pocket bread. Yeah, if they don't call it a pita, it's not a pita. It's pitiable. But yeah, we get those over here as well. The dirt cheap ones, yeah, it's like eating cardboard. No flavour to them. They're dry. Yeah. It's like the difference between a standard sliced white loaf. Wonder bread will go there, as that's something that most Americans know. And then getting a loaf of bread fresh from the baker, where it's still warm. The difference between the two things is just immense. They're two completely different things. They're both bread. Well, Wonder bread technically isn't bread. Not in the UK anyway. It's got too much sugar in it to be called bread. Technically, Wonder bread in the UK would be a cake. And therefore you'd have to pay VAT on it, which would put the price up by 20%, which would make it more expensive than freshly baked bread, so no one would buy it. I think when Walmart owned Asda, they tried to do Wonder bread, tried to sell it in the UK. It didn't do well. Much like the Dasani water, that didn't do well either. So it's not actually spring water or mineral water, it's just tap water in a bottle. Yeah. You do realise we have drinkable tap water over here. But it's bottled and it has a pretty label. Right, so you buy one bottle and you just keep refilling it from your own tap. And get rolled uncooked tortillas now, not near me. Kids buy them for you sometimes. Oh, yeah, it's just flour and corn. You just can't beat proper. Proper always tastes better. Again, as far as I'm aware, it's kind of a rarity. Pretty much every town in the UK will have a baker with freshly baked bread and buns and baguettes and all the other things. You can just go in there every day and buy a fresh loaf of bread. I mean, you don't because it's expensive, but if you buy a fresh farmhouse loaf, you don't need to buy any other food that day because you will literally just put butter on the bread and eat it because it's that good. Biscuits and gravy. Yes, that's not something that's taken off in the UK. Or grits, that's another thing we don't have either. There's probably something very similar, but Jimmy Dean hot sausage. I'm not going to even ask about James Dean's hot sausage. It's an American only food. A bit like spotted dick is an English only food. Nobody else eats spotted dick. I mean, suet pudding, I think, is basically an English only thing. I don't know why, because suet puddings are delicious. What are you taking all your messages back for? I mean, I'm hungry right now. I'm trying to think what I've got I can eat. So I've got a salted caramel cake, chocolate mince. Hmm. Well, there is a Cornish pasty in the fridge. I think it's going to be Cornish pasty. No, you don't, Sarah. You don't talk too much. There's only 6 people here according to the screen, so I'm kind of relying on you guys talking for me to have something to talk about. Um, it's been a rather quiet stream, so I think either people are out celebrating Father's Day or doing other things, or I've just upset and offended everyone. They've all buggered off, or someone else is streaming at the same time. But I'm going to go with it's just not a nice day most places. It's Father's Day, so people are doing that rather than sitting at home watching some weird Brit in a slowly darkening room on YouTube talking about random rubbish. Let's be honest, that's what I do. You've only got another 10 minutes to put up with. Um, Feet are getting all sweaty and sticky and horrible. Come on, hurry up and rain. You're coming over dark. Oh, hang on. I see something on the surface of the pond. Yeah, it's pretty humid here as well. Let me have a look. Oh, it has started raining. There we go. They're only about an hour out. Yes, so don't worry about putting too many messages in chat. I'm a quick reader. I can talk and read at the same time. It's not a problem. Um, it's only if there are some like complicated pronunciations in there, or I have to kind of translate into English. Yeah, so we're due heavy rain and thunderstorms, but they're kind of supposed to be patchy. So whether we get any here, I don't know. But any rain is a bonus at the moment. Sam says half his messages are sexually harassing me. Yeah, that's the reason they call it chat. Chat away. I'm not going to stick slow mode on or anything. Don't worry about it. Geez, the amount of rubbish I type in chats sometimes. Rained a bit earlier and 1.5 inches last night. Well, if you only had 1.5 inches, I feel sorry for you. No, I say it's at least 6 weeks since it rained here, so we really need it. It's yes, even the nettles are starting to die off. Um, Hopefully, we don't end up with a brown United Kingdom like we did last year. Well, England was brown, Wales and Scotland were still green. Like sort of by last August, you go out somewhere and the grass is crunching underfoot because it's just brown and dead. I mean, I'm amazed that it's all come back to life this year. Um, we did have a really bad drought last year. It was like 3.5, nearly 4 months we didn't have any rain. And then when it did, oh boy, did it. And everywhere was baked hard. So, yeah, it just flooded everything. It just ran off and flooded everywhere. It took a while for it to start soaking in again. Um, Indianapolis is getting rain this season. I assume IA is Indianapolis. Might be Indiana. Sipping dust in California, thinking how nice it would have been if it had rained months ago. Yeah. Being hyperbolic, it's not that bad in Northern California. No, Northern California, from what I'm aware of, does seem to have more sensible weather than like LA or the cesspool in the south. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest, the joke about England is it's always grey and rainy. And the fact of the matter is that's not true. I used to live there. I was born in Indianapolis. Love thunderstorms. Oh, I think most people, unless you're scared of them, most people enjoy a good storm. If it does start storming and absolutely throwing it down, I will be sitting outside. Mostly just to make sure the frogs don't come running in the back door. Because that's usually what happens. I'll get the frogs sheltering from the rain just on the back doorstep. Right now, I would just settle for cold anything. I'd be happy if it snowed right now. Don't mind any weather condition. I hate how other people drive in them. Oh, amen. Amen to that. You either get the ones that go so slow that you're like, oh, it's not that bad, or you get the ones that are just going too fast. Now, I know INDPLS is Indianapolis. Yeah, exactly, Debs. A bit of snow would do us good, wouldn't it? Mind you, can imagine the weather warnings then. They're giving us weather warnings at 26 degrees, then yeah, I mean, it's one of the weird things where I don't know. It's something about our climate where mid-20s it just starts feeling a lot hotter than it actually is. Might be that our homes are really well insulated, so once they get warm, they don't cool down very quick. We don't have aircon. Might be the angle of the sun. I don't know. It just, I say, like today it was only 26, and I went outside and had a ciggy, and I baked alive in like 5 minutes. But quite how I managed 9 hours in it the other day, I don't know. But yeah, our bodies and our houses just aren't designed for heat. We're back to the stereotype. We're designed for 15 degrees and grey and drizzly. And that's when the Englishman's or Englishwoman's body works properly. Do I have a dehumidifier? Nope. No. Again, it's not something we tend to have very often either. The dehumidifier. Generally, because the humidity is, it's not that humid today. It's only probably about 85–90%. There's also that it does get very humid in the UK. They call me the dehumidifier. I can dry up any woman. Ah, yes. Sam, the creator of the Mojave vagina. Yeah, I don't deal with heat. I'm too well insulated. Plus, I always tend to wear black, which really doesn't help. Being fat, hairy, and wearing black is not good in hot weather. That's Mojave, Mojave, not mahogany. That's someone with way too much fake tan. It's an old line from Sons of Anarchy that made me chuckle when I first heard it, so it's stuck in my head. Yeah, it's weird things like that. I can handle no AC, but I would want a dehumidifier. So it's things that I've got windows and doors open, so if I ran a dehumidifier, it wouldn't do anything. I don't want to be paying to dehumidify the whole of England. Plus, our electric bills at the moment are ludicrously high. You don't want to know how high they get. So yeah, we're also trying to not use electric where we can get away with it. Yes. I remember when I first moved in 26 years ago, I was budgeting £5 a week for electricity, and I was budgeting more than I needed. Now, if I budget £40 a week for electric, yeah, I'm about there, as long as I don't like use the oven or anything like that. I'd become a hermit in the basement if I didn't have AC. Yeah, I don't blame you. If I had a basement, I would be sleeping down there. Um, I just don't even have heating on in the bedroom during the winter because I don't need it. It doesn't get that cold. It might be cold when you get out of bed or when you first get in bed, but you soon warm up. And if you're getting out of bed, then you're leaving the bedroom. Oh, my eyes don't deal with bright light either. They never have. Um, so whenever I'm out and about, I've, especially when it's sunny, not that it is at the moment, then I've got me polarizing sunglasses clipped on. Um, I might take them off for videos when you see me doing a video from outside and I've not got them on. It's because obviously video, if you're doing face to face, eye contact is a thing. But yeah, otherwise I'd have my shades on because I don't do bright sunlight. Shades, baseball cap, keeps that part of my face nice and dark. Hence why I've not got a tan. Basically live in a glass box. Ooh, not good. Yes, I'm not a fan of these newfangled houses with, oh, let's put a huge bifold window in across that entire wall, and I'm thinking, that's going to be like an oven. It's also a vampire, as you can tell by the complexion, the hairstyle, the gothicism, and the tendency to hang around in graveyards. And on that joyous, wonderful, does Andrew sound slightly Scottish? Not to an Englishman, no. Really doesn't. Sounds a bit northern, but not Scottish northern. But yes, on that wonderful note of vampirism and hanging around in graveyards, thanks to everyone who's been here and watched and put up with my waffleage and running out of things to talk about big time. And for all the people who keep chatting, don't keep deleting your messages. You're allowed to chat. It's what it's for. And yes, have a good week. Stay safe. Stay cool. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do.